Hi. Hi. What's up? It's me, Avery, and today I'm going to be talking about a book that is super close to my heart, and that is She's With Me by Jessica Cunsolo, otherwise known as Ava Violet, on Wattpad, where this book was originally published. This was the first book I read book that I've read on Wattpad that wasn't fan fiction, and so this is a really special place in my heart. It showed me that you can get published from Wattpad, even though it takes years. But yeah, so if you guys are a Wattpad reader, an old Wattpad reader, I'll put a time card on when you should go to just talk about the book and the feelings about this book. I don't think there are any spoilers. I don't think she changed any major plot points, so it should be the same. Hopefully, let's hope. But otherwise, if you guys have not read this book and you want to buy the physical copy, it's out in Spanish, French, and English, which is super dope. And I think that's actually a pro that I didn't write down. But anyway, this is a long intro. Let's just get right into the book and go. Okay. A new town, a new love, another chance to stay alive. Arriving in another town, Amelia Collins vows to fit in and finish her senior year drama-free. There can't be any mistakes. Staying under the radar is what keeps Amelia one step ahead of the man who is trying to find and destroy her. But when a group of students befriends her and makes her feel safe and loved, Amelia struggles to maintain her distance, especially when faced with her feelings for Aiden Parker, whose piercing gray eyes and strength weaken her resolve. When Aiden's ex-girlfriend threatens Amelia in ways to make her easy to find, she has to act quickly. Feeling crushed by her desire for a normal life and not wanting to leave her friends behind, Amelia has an impossible choice to make between survival and the chance of real love. So, yeah, this is a YA. It's young adult. It's high school-y, but also mystery, or not mystery, but crime. So I think that's a really interesting combination, because in crime and mystery books, it's typically adults who are being preyed upon, unless you saw This Light Will Kill You, which is the last book I reviewed. That was also teenagers, but it's not in a high school setting, and this entire book pretty much takes place in a high school setting, besides a few certain scenes, but mainly focused around high school. But anyway, let's get around to the things I like. So, the first thing that I really liked was the solid characterization, especially on the first page, and let me just read it for you, because I think it's 10 out of 10. I liked the voice of Amelia, and it's seen throughout this book, and there are actually 2 other books after it, and it's continued perfectly through that, even though she's writing these books over 4 years, I think. She wrote it a lot, so I thought that was really cool. So Jessica is amazing at putting in these really complex, deep backstories. And so the book comes out, when you first when you start the book, a lot of people who I've said please read this book have not finished it, because they're this is so boring and cliche. But at the end of the book, at least in this one, the story starts unfolding, and you just have to get through the first kind of boring part of the book to get to the really deep kind of not concerning, but deep part of the characters, of the plot. And you learn so much, because for Amelia, you learn why she's running, who this guy who's tracking her down is. And I think it's in this book and the next book, she kind of explains the story of what happened to her, and it's tragic. It's so bad. And you just learn more about those characters. You learn more about Mason's life. You learn more about Noah's life. You learn about all of these characters, and it's through characterization, backstory, but it's also just through you have to get through the boring part. So I would say that's the one thing I dislike, is how cliche it is at the beginning. But let me tell you, throughout this entire book, it's so deep and it's so complex, and the characters are really deep, and that just makes characters that you think that you're gonna hate, you love them at the end, because you're you've been through so much. I'm so sorry I hated you. So I really liked that. Also, talking about drama, there is high school drama, which makes it really relatable, especially to high school students. Even though it's super dramatized in the high school drama, it is 100% relatable. It's not 100% relatable. It's pretty relatable stuff, And, you know, you have the mean girl, which is why I say it's super cliche. I mean, you have the mean girls, and then you have the tough guys, and they should be going together, but they aren't, and stuff like that. So you have that drama and that going on, and there's so many side plots of conflicts. Like, I think throughout the entire series, there are 4 conflicts. There are 4 conflicts. There are 4 conflicts throughout the 3 books. And, like, they're all really big conflicts, but also, like, they all cross in their own ways, and it never feels like too much. And it just kind of feels like a knot, and you're just waiting for it to release, and then at the end of the book, like the 3rd book, it releases. Currently this is the only book that's out, so the other 2 books you'd have to read on Wattpad, and they're just a first draft, so, you know, you go from final draft to first drafts, but it's still really good. I recommend that. But otherwise, yeah, it's just, I really enjoyed this book because it was so in-depth, and like, you're gonna think it's so boring because it's a Wattpad book. Like, all Wattpad books are like, I don't know, you see the memes about them, you're like, oh yeah, I woke up and like my high school is my perfect brown hair and my brown eyes shimmered through. Like, this is nothing like that. Like, it kind of is at the beginning, but by the end you're like, what? So just give it a chance. But yeah, and I would rate this 5 out of 5 stars. I might be a little bit biased because I really like the author, and I've been following this since I was like 13. Like, in the first year I was on Wattpad, I found this book when, like, she was still writing this book when I found it, and now I get to hold it and read it, and I've read it like about 5 times. So, like, not the finished copy, I've read the finished copy once, but like the non-finished, I've read the series like a solid 5 times because I just think it's really good, even though it's really cliche and basic. Like, I don't know, and every time, it sounds so cheesy, but every time you read stuff, you just pick up more clues. Like, you're like, oh my god, that's when that clue is dropped, you know? So I think that's really cool, and she drops so many clues, especially like for the bigger things at the end of the series. Like, she's still dropping clues here, and I think that's really cool. And also, like, the biggest thing that happens in this book is the real name review, because like it says in the back, she's in witness protection, so, you know, she has her real name, but she can't use it for obvious reasons. And you get to, at the end, like the last few pages of the book, it's like a name reveal. So like every book there's just this one big thing that drops, and for this one it was the name, and it was so good, and it like builds up, like you want to know it, and then you learn it. It's just really good. So I would 10 out of 10 recommend this book. If you don't want to pay for it, go into Wattpad because you're still supporting the author. If you want to buy it, I got this from Amazon. You can also get it from Barnes & Noble, I'm pretty sure, like anywhere. Please go buy this book. I love it. So anyway, that was this for the review, but if you guys liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Any conflict, anything helps me know whether or not you like the videos. Comment below any recommendations, and check out my Goodreads for any books that I might have read and I'm having a video on soon. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Welcome to the book talk. Hi. I can't really say much about this book besides the fact that, like, I loved this so much more than the non-edited book, which is really good. It means that her editing was really good and it made the book a lot more interesting. But I liked how, like, at the end of the book, she just, like, where's the scene? She goes, it's a long story, our friends yell from downstairs for us to come back and finish the movie, and we glance into the hallway, and Aiden literally just goes, shorten it. Like, I love that. But then on the next page, he's just like, where is it? He goes, you went through all of this for a year alone. And that's like, this is why I love the character of Aiden. Like, during my review, I was like talking about like how you're gonna hate a character, Aiden, and then you like learn to love him, because I mean, Aiden is such a dick, but like, you know, it's because of Greg, you know, like he was released from prison, and that is so scary for him because he has to take care of his brothers, and he can't get full custody of his brothers until he turns 18, and that was just really sad. And then it's just it's really cute. I really love Aiden. I love his character, like, development, like, how as you go through, like, I mean, you have, like, the math class where he, like, is being really snarky. He's just like, shut up. She's like, what? Like, why are you so angry? To, like, him actually caring about her, and, like, I mean, like, he fights with Thea to just, like, protect her and, like, be like, you need help. Like, you don't have to go through this alone anymore. And I just think it's really cute. And I think that's, like, I don't know, after a while you'll learn that that's who his character really is. Like, you don't really know what his character is until you get to the end, and I really like that. I think it's beautiful. So, yeah. I really did enjoy that. Oh my god, wait, is this the one? Oh my god, I forgot that you went to the gym. It's been a while since I've read this, and, like, there are certain scenes that, like, got added in that I'm really happy got added in. Like, Theo goes to the gym. I just read over that. Oh my god. Oh my god, I really like the scene at the tracks, because no matter how many times I read it, it still gets me, like, oh, I'm, like, anxious. I'm like, okay, come on, Aiden, like, you have to win this, even though I know he's not gonna win the first one so he can get more money for the second one, because he's like, no, he doesn't, like, he needs more money. And then Aiden gives the whatchamacallit, like, the money, the $2,000. I'm like, he needed that more, like, I also want to know how he makes money throughout the last couple of books, because, like, he still had to pay for his house. Like, was it paid off? How does he pay for food and gas? Like, I don't know. I feel like his car is not super gas efficient, so I don't know. Please tell me if a Challenger is very efficient with gas. I feel like it's not, but, yeah. Oh my god. Also, I'm just gonna, like, go over my favorite scenes. Also, the one where, like, they're studying and then Thea's car is keyed, and then Thea goes over to Aiden's house for the first time, and then she has, like, the Fruit Loops, and she starts laughing about it. She's like, oh my god, Fruit Loops. And then everything like that happens. I love that. That really floats my boat. I thought it was really cute. This makes me sad. This book is what got my expectations for dating so far up. I'm like, you know, if they don't take care of my car when they key it, and I have to argue with them to not take care of it, and I just start yelling at them, and no, actually, I would never be like that. But, like, if they're not Aiden Parker, they're nobody, you know? I don't know. I feel like it's, like, unreasonable to expect a person to be like that. I feel like there's no person in the world that is Aiden Parker, but also he's fictional, so that's okay, because, like, no one is gonna be like Day Wing from Legend, or no one's gonna be like Harry Potter. I swear to God, no. When I meet someone that selfless who's willing to, like, give up their life, well, to give up their life to save a lot of people. Okay, there are people like that in the world, because, like, there have been enough things to happen where people have given up their lives for that. But, like, Day, there's nobody like him. There's nobody in the world. So, you know, I can't really take that off, but I did really love this book. I hope everyone else who read it liked it, because I think it was really, really good, and I feel like everyone is gonna be against that, but, like, I love it. And that also just has, like, a huge special place in my heart, because this is, like, the first book I ever read on Wattpad that was, like, a book, and I actually have not read a book on Wattpad since. Because I feel like nothing can live up to my expectations of this one, even though I know that there are fantastic Wattpad books out there. Like, I just love this one too much, and I love the author. I think she's so nice, and her dog is adorable. So, yeah, Jessica, if you're watching this, hi, can we please hang out or talk, because I love your book, and I cannot wait till the other couple are published. I read all of this. I love the end part too, because, like, you get to see what's gonna be in the next book, so at least we know what's coming. It just is, it's a matter of when. I think it's gonna be like a year before that one's done. But, she put in 2 chapters? Wow. Wow. Oh, God. I don't know. I have a lot of feelings about this book. I really love this book. And if you guys want to ever talk about books, please just DM me on Instagram. Woman is stellar. I love him. He's my favorite character in this book, besides Amelia, because she's a bad bitch. I mean, she calls him a walking skyscraper. Where is that? Does she have a full day of school on the first day? should really know this before I start recommending books. Anyway, like, the Energizer Bunny, love that. Love, like, just first day school, running into Aiden, like, yelling at him. Oh, just gold. Her character, gold. And Aiden's character, like, once you get in depth, like, he's one of the characters where you, like, need to, like, dig in. And he's the deepest character in the entire book. Like, I don't care about Thea. I feel like her past didn't really affect her as much, besides, like, the fact that she needed sleeping pills. I feel like it could have affected her more. But, like, Aiden, it's definitely affected him. You can see it in the characterization, which I think is cool. And I think he's the deepest character in the book. Please argue this with me. I'd love to hear other opinions about that, but I think Aiden is the, like, deepest character, and he's been the most affected by his past, because, like, him and Amelia are the only characters, or I guess Thea, because you guys have read the book, but, like, they have both been, like, affected the most. Like, they've had the worst past life, and now they're 18, 17 and 18, and so they just need to, like, feel that, you know? And I feel like Aiden seems more affected realistically by his past, which I like, which is probably why I like Aiden more, because, like, I'm saying like so much, but he's changed his personality. Like, you know his real personality, but he blocked his real personality off, and I think that's because he's too afraid of being hurt and, like, taken advantage of, like he has been in the past, and he's willing to stand up against that. And Thea, that girl has been sassy since day one. She probably came out of the womb calling her mom a walking skyscraper. Like, I'm just saying. But, yeah, I feel like she could have been a little bit more affected, especially if she had a serial killer behind her, or, like, a sociopath. Yeah, I probably would have been a lot more rigid, especially if the FBI was not doing everything they could. Like, they probably could have done a lot more to track him. They would have used, like, codes and stuff for, like, weapons. Like, what? But anyway, yeah, I don't know. Aiden's my favorite character. He really just made my expectations for people go whoop. So, yeah, I also really like Noah. Noah's perfect because he's just, like, the comedian. Like, Jessica's using him to just, like, in a really deep situation, like, when we need that, like, tension released and, like, the stress released, like, she puts Noah in as, like, hey guys, she says something stupid and funny, and it's just, like, he's the perfect character, besides Aiden. But, yeah, I really liked every single character in this book. I really, really liked every single character in this book. And, yeah, I also like the new scenes that she added. I was, like, flipping through this, like I was saying earlier, and, like, I forgot that there was, like, a boxing scene where she was, like, at the gym, and I think she, like, ran into one of the boys. But, yeah, I liked that. I liked that she added that, because, like, she always talks about the gym, but she never goes, and so it's like, when does she go to the gym? Like, you know, it never feels like she does, but in this book she does, which I thought was cool, and I thought that was pretty fun. And that's where we also see the past kind of affect her a little bit. Yeah, I don't know, I really liked all the scenes, and it just was like, this read so much better, I think, just because of the editing and everything. And, you know, yeah, seeing page 127, I hate him. I always pretend the bag is the same person, the one person responsible for everything. I take a punch, that lifeless bag taking shape into him. He ruined everything. I punch. I hate that I can't be close to people. I punch. Oh, it's Annalisa that walks in. See, it makes sense. But, yeah. I thought it's cool. Also, so this year I took calculus for a semester, because my class is like, you do one thing for a semester, you do another thing for the other semester, because it's an IB class, so it's like, it's really weird, but I took calculus for a semester, and it was like, the basics, but I felt like Thea, but I also felt like Aiden, because I understood everything. I'm not everything, but like, if I worked really hard, I could understand it, and I was like, smarter than Thea in math. And it was like a good feeling. I was like, wow, I'm doing what these book characters do. And like, I don't know, I like when I can relate to the book characters even just a little bit. So like, for example, oh my god, this is kind of embarrassing, but in the legend, Juniper's, the main character, wore her hair up in a high ponytail, and then one day when I was reading the book, I was like, I want to wear my hair in a high ponytail, and so I did, and now I wear my hair only in a high ponytail instead of a low one at the base of my neck. So, like, I don't know, I like being able to connect with characters and kind of feel that character in me, and I think that's what makes a really good character. But yeah, it was really good to, like, do calc and understand it, even though it's really confusing. I was like, oh, so this is how I do that. And then, like, halfway through calc, I remember, like, we were about to learn the antiderivative, and I was like, I wonder if there's a way that we can go backwards on a derivative. Like, if we had the derivative and we needed to find the OG. And I was gonna figure it out, and then my teacher, like, 2 days later was like, antiderivatives, and I was like, oh, there is a thing for that. So, yeah, that made me feel smart, but I was also like, I am the Aiden Parker in the situation, yes. So, always a book nerd, no matter what, even if I'm in math, which is the opposite of books. But I did like that, and I liked that scene. Like, one of my favorite scenes in this book is the one where Aiden and Amelia are studying, and they were in the parking lot, and then they locked their stuff in the school, and they were locked outside, and her car was keyed. Like, she couldn't do anything about her car, and Aiden's car keys were obviously in the school, and Aiden just takes care of everything. And like, that's the first time we realize that Aiden is a good person. We're like, why is he like this, you know? And he walks her home, or like to his house, and he's like, do you want anything? Like, he's a good host. And then he's like, I'm gonna go make some calls, and she's like, how does he have this many connections? And that's the first clue about the track. And he just takes care of everything, and he has Jason and Jackson's like things on the fridge, and he's such a good parent to them. It's really sad. I really, really, really liked this, and I don't know, that was one of my favorite scenes though in this entire book, because she is so done. Like, she's super stressed, she's super mad, and she's like, screaming at him, and he's like, I figured out a solution. She's like, fine, what is it? And then they walk to his house, and she's like, I'm so sorry. I thought that was a really, really cute scene. I also think, I don't know if it's in this book or the other book, but Aiden like goes over to Thea's house, and they study at her house, and I don't know. Oh my god, also the track scene, no matter what, I have read this book maybe 5 times, she didn't change that scene at all, so like 5 times between once in this book and like 4 times on Wattpad. I always get so stressed during the track scene, no matter how many times I read this, because I'm always like, Aiden, please win, and then he doesn't, and I'm like, but like, I knew he wasn't going to until the second one, so he could do like $2,000 or whatever he does, like 4,000, I don't know, but like, oh, I was so stressed, and I don't know, she is such a good writer. I love this book. If you guys want to talk more about this book at all, if you have anything you want to say, just DM me on Instagram so you don't spoil the book for other people. My Instagram is linked down below, along with my Goodreads, so if I've read any books but haven't quite done a video on it yet, I'll have those below. And just like this video if you want more content like it, dislike it if you just didn't like how I did something, but if you do that, please comment on what you didn't like, because I just want to know, I want to become better. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I love this book. If you haven't read it and you just got a ton of spoilers, please read it. It's so good. But I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace out.